Okay, today's Monday. Sitting out here in the back of my tailgate, my truck. Uh, just kind of enjoying the breeze a little bit, which is not much, but some. I wanted to talk about this past Saturday, this past weekend. What did I do this past weekend? I went to the County National Forest here in the southeast Georgia region, and I ran pretty much. Uh, I did a lot of trails, and I found some beautiful campsites, and there were some campsites with facilities where you pay $10. They ask you for a small fee, and some only have water. I found two that had water, electricity. I was able to go around the near Juliet Lake Juliet, Georgia, and Dams Ferry Lake. So yeah, this past weekend I ran the Oconee National Forest. Uh, Easy trails, regular gravel, red clay gravel, uh, some maybe three, four small, tiny, real tiny, sketchy little bridges that will scare you because they're made out of wood. Some of the boards were cracked, things like that, with the big truck right underneath. I was able on some of the trails. I got a little disappointed because there were access to other trails that were closed. The reason they were closed was because due to careless people that would like to dump their trash. When I talk about trash, it's not just basic solo cup, plastic cup, paper towel, beer bottles, cans, etc., etc. I'm talking about furniture. I'm talking about used tires. I'm talking about a burn RB trailer, full RB trailer. I'm talking about graffiti, things like that, which bother me because it's not good for nature. These lands are public lands provided for everyone who wants to enjoy them, but people forget to have or leave a little respect behind. Uh, I started doing overlanding over 2 years ago. A few friends of mine introduced me. One of them was Satish, and the other friend, good friend of mine, Jason. Which Jason's channel, if you want to check it out, is Wolf Overland. He's a great guy. He's running right now a Jeep Gladiator. I have learned a lot from him and any other guys. So my past 2.5 years of overlanding, um, it has been fun. I like it. Uh, Even though right now we're having issues with gas prices, inflation, um, the heat is super hot right now. But when you do overlanding, you got to be prepared for any weather condition, any situation. You just have to be prepared for everything. It's not. Uh, you can always carry something extra in your vehicle in case you might need it, you might not, but just in case. For example, a chainsaw. We have been in trails where we never expect the tree to be falling down. We're thinking there might be one or two, but it had happened in the past, and luckily, chainsaw had make it easy for everybody when we're out there. Uh, I enjoy doing this. It's fun. It disconnects you from the world. All you're thinking about is grabbing your steering wheel. Be careful not to drive off the cliff. Be careful not to hit the broken tree down on the side of the road. Not to hit a ditch or anything like that. Or think you're not breaking any parts of your cars for sure, because it's the only way back home. And sometimes, like for example, we use satellite GPS. Like I run Gaia GPS. Um, Here in these maps or satellite GPS and any other, it will show you where you have public lands, private lands. It will show you all the trails. It will show you horse track. It will show you anything. The only thing it doesn't show is the difficulty of the trails. Sometimes we can find trails that, oh yeah, cool, 10 miles. But those 10 miles can turn into 2 hour drive. Sometimes even longer, sometimes even less than that. But when I say sometimes take longer, is because sometimes we have to go through big rocks, narrow paths. We had to drive half our vehicle on the mainland and the other half on the wall where we're tilting. Sometimes we had friends where their side of the car is just barely on the ground, or the vice versa, their side of the car to be on the wall, because some of the trails can be so narrow, so difficult. Matter of fact, we just got back from Asheville, North Carolina, about 3-4 weeks ago. It was my first time going to Asheville, doing overlanding for sure. And once again, I went with my friend Jason and some of the other guys. I got to meet new people, and we did Hurricane Creek. The trail wasn't that difficult at all until we hit one section where apparently a BMW electric car or something. I still trying to think, what in the world, somebody with electric car, basic car, riding a trail like that. And the section where this car was, it was an area where you needed somebody to be on front and spotting you and tell you where to put the wheels. Apparently this car rolled down the hill and hit a tree. I wasn't there, I really don't know what happened, but the difficulty of the trail, like I say, is not showing in the maps. So that's the reason I say we have to be prepared. We have to double up our games when it comes to situations like that, especially when it rains. Sometimes we be going somewhere. We've been planning trips on the next for the next month or so, or the next couple of weeks or so, and we ran into a situation where everybody's cool, everybody's happy, everybody load up their cars and everything, and all of a sudden we ran into a bad storm in the middle of the trail. Sometimes some people have it brought in there, like somebody forgot their booze, somebody forgot tarps, somebody forgot something. You always forget something. I have done it. A lot of people have done it. We had, like in my case, I'm always prepared. The only thing I don't have on my truck yet is a winch, but I'm working on it. I'm gonna build a different bumper. I do welding. Like I built this beefy guy right here. So I'm working on building a new bumper. I'm working on building overland shovels. But like I was talking on about being prepared, is like in my case I carry a little bit of extra, and I carry tarps because I have 2 dogs, and they're walking all over the place. I have the blankets and everything, so it's a lot of work when it comes to rainy conditions or wet conditions, because you got to double up your game. Like for example in Asheville, when we were there about a month ago, We had just a pour down storm, lightning, thunder, everything. Uh, we were not expecting it, but it was something that went by quick. But it was hard enough that it left a big mess. Like we had to where we camped, it was wet, muddy. It was everything. So I had to take more stuff out of the car, which I was prepared for. And it always take longer when you have your dogs with you. Always take longer when you have extra family. Like I have friends that go with their wife, they go there with their kids. When it comes to weather conditions, okay, it's, in the summer it's cool enough, fresh enough that you can move around, do things and stuff like that. But in the middle of the rain, you're trying to get everybody in the car, you set up everything, you're trying to pack some of the stuff and put them back in the car under the tent. So it's kind of like a little hustle. So that's why it's always best to be prepared. Also, we always, like in my case, I have done a lot of trips now on my own, thanks to Gaia GPS, which I have it right here. And I have also done a lot of I'm sorry, I'm being a little distracted because we have somebody's dog running around the neighborhood, and nope. So I have my dogs in here with me, and she has picked up on it. So sorry about that. So yeah, I have done many trips on my own, along with my two dogs. Uh, Number of reasons I do is because, well, number one, I know everybody has a regular job. We all work and everything. I just try to disconnect from the world for a little bit for a few days. So we have, when our friends can go, there's only few that can go, and then at the end of the day, nobody commits to it because something always comes up. So it's always good to go in a big group. So the few trips that I have done by myself, I take my time. My friends jokes about me because they think I'm very slow, and I just like to take my time. So sometimes I start before everybody else, like packing and stuff like that. Packing my tent. Uh, so I have a rooftop tent, just a soft rooftop tent. Everybody has a hard shell rooftop tent, so mine takes longer to set up and pack up, which I don't mind. I just have to be ahead of everybody at the start. But they just joke about it. I'm not that slow. So yeah, when I go on my own, I like to take my time. Number one, do it because of my dogs. Gary, you stay here. My dogs enjoy it. They have a good time. I also like to take pictures. I like to do videos, take pictures, post them on Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc. Send it to friends, send it to family member. I also have a cousin who used to do overlanding back home when I'm from Venezuela. Uh, and my dream was one day for me to one day be able to have a truck, set it up my way, and be able to go out and do this, which as today I'm doing it, and I'm doing it for the past 2.5 years. I am excited, happy, I love it, even though I race bikes, I race road cycling, and I race mountain bikes. So it's fun. I like it. And I also, when I'm on the trails, I like to stop and pick up somebody else's trash because because there's a lot of careless people that comes to these public land areas, public park, state forest, etc., etc. And it's okay to set up and do whatever you want, but please take your trash with you. Uh, these people are not doing that, and because of that, it hurts us, and we ended up in a situation where we might be 15 miles into a trail and we need to make a right turn or left turn, and guess what? those trails are closed for everybody because of that. So in this video, if anybody gets to watch this, uh, this is one of my main things that I like to point out about be clean. You know, it's not hard to you drink a beer, pick up your bottle, throw it in a plastic bag, throw it in the back of your truck, in the back of your car, in the trunk. Even if you don't want to see it next to your seat, you don't want to see it on your console, just put it in a plastic bag and throw it in your trunk, on the back of your truck or backpack, whatever. But just take it with you. It's just simple. Uh, so the other thing I have seen out there is, like I talked about the burn RB that I found on one of the trails. This was, I'm looking down here on my iPad, this was at the Oconee National Forest. I keep saying Ocala. The Oconee National Forest, and I was at the area that is called Gladsville Campground. And this was trail, hold on one second. So this was trail, I can barely see the number, 11, it's highlighted but so many lines. It's either 1118 or 1128, but it's next to the Glassville Campground on the Ocala National Forest. This was past the campsite, so apparently this campsite, not apparently, this campsite was empty, looked like it was abandoned. It hasn't been cleaned in a while. I consider on camping over there, and so I was considering camping over there, and I decided not to because of the condition. It was the grass was too high. It was pretty much abandoned, and of course it has trash. So I decided to keep on going, looking down the map. I started traveling through the area, and about 100 yards I saw this burned RV. I'm not sure if it got caught on fire by accident. I'm not sure if somebody set it up on purpose, but apparently it's been sitting in there for a while because it was all rusted. Looked like this happened a long time ago. So as I kept on going on the trails, I found more and more trails that were closed. I also got to an area. This area was, I'm looking down. So I'm looking down on the map right now. So there was a trail that take you right into the Ocmulgee River. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Ocmulgee River, Ocmulgee River. So this trail, there were a few entrances for this trail, but there was one in particular that had a campsite or a few campsites. So this one, when I got to the gate, guess what? It had a sign. It was closed for good. But not for good. But if you need an entrance, you have to call. It was some 1-800 number. It's a part of the national forest that you have to call because there is like a marina right next to it. So I guess it's related to it, and that's the number you have to call. And I guess it's a new thing. They might ask you for ID, signature, all of that, vehicle information, all of that stuff. But once again, because of somebody else decided to trash it. As I continued down the trails, there were a lot of trash, beer bottles, papers, more furniture. There was, what was the other thing there? So, a broken electric chair, like somebody decided to, instead of taking to a local dump, they decided to drive in the trail and dump it out on the right on the curb. So things like that causes trails to be shut down, and in our maps, Gaia, it's not going to show if the trail is closed or not. So sometimes we take chances. We be on a trail, will be like 10 mile long, 15 mile long, 20 mile long, and we have to turn around and find a different way how to go back. We did something similar in Tennessee about a year ago with my friend Jason once again and Satish. And we went through the Nemo Tunnel. We did all of that, and on the way out, we were heading west on the other side of not Knoxville. It's on the west side of on the opposite side of Knoxville. I'm not sure the area, but we were going like we were leaving like for everybody to come home, and we got to a section where it was closed. So we had to turn around. The map kept telling us to go one way. We kept going that way, and it wasn't that way. Then we had to turn around again. But guess what? We come to find out that the trail became part of the trail ended up in the main road. Like there was a trail, and then all of a sudden, the main road, and we exit out, and everybody went home. But once again, in that trail, the Nemo, Tennessee area, we did find a lot of gates. They were closed. We went through campsites where we found beer bottles, trash, you name it, to-go boxes. So things like this causes for trails to be shut down. Like I say, I've been doing overlanding now for the past 2.5 years. I have my Instagram channel, which is Overland 1983 with a zero. And now this is my brand new YouTube channel, and this is my 5th video as today. And like I say, I love it. I enjoy it. I have fun. Even though gas prices are way out of control, I have to bite the bullet. And if I love doing this, I go regardless. I am very disappointed for gas prices right now, and inflation and everything else is happening right now in this country. But let's not go there. So yes, this past weekend I had a lot of fun doing the County National Forest. I did pretty much half of the whole forest. Then I ended up on a few other trails, and I also ended up at the Charlie Elliott Wildlife Center, and I ended up the whole lake. They had a nice lake, nice camp facility. They had a nice campground where you pay $10. You have water, you have electricity. We normally don't do that. We just do remote camping. We see it on the trail. We're riding on the trail. We see a camp spot. It's big enough to fit 3 cars, 5 cars, 2 cars. We get in. Everybody sets up, fire pit. Everybody set up their tent. We start cooking, talking and stuff. Everybody have a great time. So yeah, this was my fun this past weekend. I'm looking down here at the tablet. So I'm planning on returning again and continue the rest of the County National Forest, which is a lot of fun. And I'm gonna end it up near Athens, Georgia, which I heard there's some areas that it can be very rocky, which once again, the map is gonna show you the difficulty of the trails. So this is another reason about being prepared. Like on my experience, when I first went 2.5 years ago with my friends, yeah, I had a suspension, I had 35-inch tires. I didn't have the camper, I didn't have the whole setup that I have right now. Later on, in a few other videos, I'm going to start talking about my truck, my whole experience again, how I started, all of that, and I go a little detail about my truck. But yeah, I was just a regular basic truck with the back, the cab on the back, and the tonneau cover, just basic. When I first did my first when I first did the ground tenting camping, I did not like it at all. I forgot my tarp, I forgot a few items, I forgot my sheet. It was cold. We camped at the top of a mountain up in Clayton, Georgia. It was windy, everything. The noise of the tar blowing on the tent and all of that. I had a hard time trying to sleep. So that night I learned that I needed to do a major upgrade, which was a rooftop tent, which I later, a year after I did it. So, which now I have my Overland, which is right here. My Overland vehicle system uh, tent. So I have my rooftop tent made by Overland Vehicle Systems. I also made my own shower right here, but later on I'm going to talk about that in the next video. So yeah, I learned about that I needed to do a little bit more of the upgrade if I want to continue doing overlanding. So I did it. Here I am today. I'm very equipped. I feel comfortable on going on my own. If the guys can go with me or everybody's busy, so I just go on my own with my 2 dogs. And I have a blast. I'm always confident. I know I'm gonna make it home because I'm always take care of my vehicle. I'm prepared with everything. One tip, make sure you carry extra parts. You just never know. Carry extra parts, as simple as a CV axle, hoses, clamps, washers. Make sure, one big tip, lower ball joint are the most common to snap when we're on difficult trails. Sometimes we get bolts that can snap off the lower ball joints. So in my case, I went about 4 months ago to the store at the Advanced Auto Part. They're the one that had them, and I've ordered my a set of eight, well, the bolts for each lower ball joint. So I was prepared. I was coming back from doing the west side of the Georgia Traverse, which went from Dahlonega to Alabama. On my way back home from that trip, I had a vibration on my steering wheel, and every time I went through a bump, I hear a clunk. So I didn't know where the clunky noise was coming from. So I decided to stop on the side of the highway and come to find out that my front driver wheel was tucked in on the top side and the bottom part was sticking out. So when I started lifting my truck from the lower control arm, I started seeing a gap opening up from the lower bolt joint. Apparently some of the bolts were loose. Two came out completely gone. One was only holding the bolt joint, and the second one that was there was snapped. Luckily I was prepared. I have the new bolts. I was able to put those in. I'm not sure why they come out loose because I always check my truck, and it's always good to check your vehicle before you go to long trips, even short trip, even 1 day trip, even if it's an hour away from your house like it is for me. Sometimes I'm always going like this forest right here is about an hour and 30 minutes from my house. I have gone as much as 4 hours away from my house by myself, and it's always good to be prepared. You just never know. We never know. Sometimes a lot of the trails they're so difficult that a lot of the tow trucks don't even have access to it. That's how bad it can get sometimes. But anyway, for all of you who likes to go out adventuring, off-roading, overlanding, whatever you want to call it, enjoy, be safe. Please pick up your trash, keep the trails clean, don't do anything crazy on the trails that's going to jeopardize it for anybody else, and stay safe. That's a major tip right there. Stay safe, don't drink and drive, play safe, don't text and drive. Please do not text and drive. Stay safe out there, and I will continue with the next videos, and I will continue on to the rest of County National Forest. I will upload it up here. If you guys like my videos, leave a comment. If you don't like it, leave a comment, thumbs up, thumbs down. If I need to work on something, please leave a comment, and I will keep you guys updated on my next adventure and my next videos about how I set up my truck. Everybody take care, stay safe, and have a good rest of the week. Bye bye. Overland 1983 on their Instagram, and Overland 1 here on my YouTube channel. And goodbye with my Gaia GPS. Everybody take care. Good night.